treasure. It was given to me without measure. We will travel together. My old Bible and I.
We want to welcome you to another episode of Bible Time. And today we want to share with you something about sin. So we are told in the Bible that sin originated from heaven and it came to earth when our parents sinned, that is Adam and Eve. And the results of sin were that death came into the world, sufferings, diseases, earthquakes as we see today, and all bad things started happening to earth when our first parents sinned. The book of Romans chapter 6 verse 23 tells us that the wages of sin is death, and the gift of life is eternal life through Jesus Christ, depicting that everyone that sins shall die. And the book of Galatians chapter 6 verse 7 and 8 tells us that we will reap what we sow. And if we sow in the flesh, then we're going to reap the corruption that comes with the flesh. And if we sow in the spirit, we shall reap the eternal life that comes so in the spirit. And the book of Romans chapter 5 verse 12 also tells us that sin came into the world, and as a result of that came also death. So there we can see that the Bible is telling us that we suffer because we have sinned. But again, if we look at the life of Job and the life of Jesus, we see that the two had not sinned, but they went through sufferings. They went through the consequences of sin. What therefore can we say? Did the two people sin? No, they did not sin, but they suffered the consequences of sin. But if we look at their lives again, we are told that they did not sin, but they suffered the consequences of sin because they obeyed God, depicting that there is a war which is going on today. The devil is not happy when we follow the paths of God. That's why it's going to bring about all forms of temptations, trials, to make us follow him. But the Bible is telling us today that we are supposed to stand on our feet and stand for God, and everything shall be given unto us when we pass the test. So therefore, brothers, we can say that about sin, we can say that we suffer the consequences of sin because one, we sin, and two, because we follow the paths of God. So it is not only when we sin that we're going to suffer the consequences, but even when we do not sin but follow the paths of God, shall we suffer the consequences of God, or of sin. So that is what we had for you today, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
How we read its pages about the prophets and sages, all down through the ages. For if we're willing to die,